What's up, everybody? You are chilling with Kenny C right here on TMVCafe.com. I know it's President's Day, but forget all that because today, in my eyes, is Crewe Day. We're calling it Crewe Day, and because of my guest, he is a professional wrestler from our old stomping grounds of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's been wrestling in the tri-state area. He's been wrestling across the country. You may see him in AEW, and he's been doing a tremendous job as a wrestler. And as you can tell, he is a proud member of the Who Day Nation. Uh, I am joined with a man who takes pride of being merciless. He is good Lord Crew.
What's up, Kenny? How you doing, Bubba?
I'm good, man. Great to have you here. I've known you for a couple of years. I think my first time seeing you, I think it may have been Primetime Wrestling, or it may have been
Okay.
Generation Next Pro Wrestling. I'm
Okay.
gonna, I'm gonna go with Primetime.
I was gonna
Um,
say I did prime time for quite a while. I was there almost every week for a couple of
Yeah.
years. So
So yeah, it definitely had to be prime time for sure. So that's was my introduction to you, and I've been following you ever since, at least from a distance, not
sure.
stalking, not,
Sure.
but but yeah. So and then I think we reconnected a lot more after the pandemic and things
Yeah.
started to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went into you at some conventions and stuff, and
Hmm.
you've been representing for Collar Elbow,
Yep.
which I
Yeah.
believe I think that's Alice Knowles Clothing Apparel, or someone, or Wad
Yeah.
Hicks. Wad Hicks, yeah,
Rod's my boy.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I don't know Al very well. I think we've
yeah,
only met a time or two,
yeah.
but Rod's my boy. That's my connected collar and elbow.
Yeah. So yeah, it has to be Rod for sure.
Yeah.
So man, you've been busy, as I pointed out in the intro,
Definitely. Definitely.
wrestling on the road, doing nonstop, man. As you know, we're getting near the end of February, man. How things holding up for you so far this year?
Things are going good. I had a little bit of a slow January, but that was kind of by design. I wanted to kind of unwind from the holidays, and I went through a little bit of a transition in my personal life. So I was trying to navigate that and just kind of was getting my mind right because I know it's going to be a busy year, and then actually my girlfriend had a death in the family, so
Yeah,
we had to make a little trip out of the country to handle all of that. So having the slow January at that period of time actually was kind of nice because no, I didn't have anything interrupting what needed to be done at that time. So but now February, foot's on the gas. The shows I've had so far this year, I think I've done one Kentucky, one Ohio, one Indiana, California, Florida. So I've stretched like all over the place in the few shows I've done. I got Paradigm this weekend down there around Louisville, and then I'm back in Orlando for No Peace on Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And condolences go out to her family,
sure,
um,
sure.
and
Yeah,
her loved ones for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
So
definitely.
the last time I did see you, I believe it was at Web Arena for AEW's Kentucky debut show. Now you was in attendance. You didn't compete that night, but
So I was there in the back.
yeah,
So I was brought in as like an extra on standby, but I didn't get a match that night. No.
okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
did see you at the Rampage tapings, for Jamie Hayter's
Yeah.
match
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Miami. So man, I'm very excited to see what you have in store.
Yeah.
And just you going in, man, literally.
Yeah, dude.
So
Hopefully, I mean, if as
um,
long as the phone keeps ringing, I'm gonna keep showing up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So hopefully they keep calling, and hopefully it turns into something sooner or later. So
Yeah, and so far I've seen you wrestle once this year, and that was at New South,
New South, yeah.
and that was a last minute thing.
Yeah, yeah, it
So
was. I got a
um,
call. I got a call about 3 hours before showtime, asking if I was available to do it for him because he was in a little bit of a pinch, and
yeah,
I didn't have anything else going on, and it's only about an hour and a half drive for me, so figured
yeah,
I'd go make a couple bucks, get a little rep in,
yeah, yeah, and I definitely, props to you, man. Props to anybody that steps up like that on a
Mhm.
short notice because wrestling is like any other job. Things happen, circumstances beyond the promoter's control,
Mhm.
and they need someone to come to the rescue. And
Sure.
and you got the Superman cave on, and then I'm
You know,
ready.
man, it's one of those things too where a lot of those fans that attend New South are the same ones who were cheering me on every week when I was just starting out at PTW. So, I have a personal connection with those fans because, those are some of my day ones,
Yeah,
and I, any chance I get that I can make work to go down and do those shows, I love to do it because, it's one of the things like no matter how far you get, I try to never forget where I came from, and be good to the people who were good to me all coming up. So
yeah, absolutely, man. Very humble dude I'm talking to. I'm joined with Lord Crew here on the show. So you got the Paradigm this weekend, Jeffersonville, Indiana. That's a
yep.
promotion that I have been hearing about for years. Very good promotion. I'm definitely gonna make my way to one of those promotions at some point. So go check them out at
Yeah.
Jeffersonville. They also do shows in other areas in
Hmm.
Indiana.
They've dipped their
So
toes in Columbus.
yeah,
So yeah, it's Paradigm puts on a good product. I've been doing stuff with them more so since after the pandemic. So, that's been kind of one of my little staple spots. We're actually having a little fun on Friday. We're doing me and Aaron Williams as Cincinnati's Most Wanted. We are defending the unsanctioned pro tag team titles
okay.
against their champion. So it's a title for title match.
Mm,
So
winner takes all.
winner
Uh,
takes all. So we'll have to see what
that's
happens.
Yeah, man. So go check that out, man. Paradigm at the world famous arena.
The
Uh,
world famous Jeffersonville Arena.
and I gotta say this on a joking side, because I've been to that same arena on numerous occasions,
Yeah.
and the restrooms be real messy at times. So the last few times I've been there has been a lot more clean.
Yeah,
So
actually, yeah,
yeah,
I got to give it to him because you are right. But it's one of those things where if you've spent time in that Jeffersonville arena, you can survive pretty much any virus, any ailment.
yeah,
Like you're immune to everything if you spend enough time in that arena.
yeah, man. And look, I'm a Kentuckian, and I'm trying to find wrestling shows wherever I can. And
Sure,
In Jeffersonville, it's a very busy wrestling city. It's not
it
Indianapolis
is.
as far as big name city, but it is a very active wrestling city. Like if
Sure,
you need a wrestling show, the arena got you covered.
yeah, it's basically Louisville. I mean,
Yeah,
it's basically Louisville. It's they don't have to deal with the Kentucky commission.
yeah,
So, that makes it a little easier to don't have to worry about people being licensed and stuff, but still can run in that Louisville area.
yeah.
So,
So that's something I wanted to talk to a wrestler about because as far as some states does require you to have a license,
yeah.
and then there's some states that are not. I'm guessing Kentucky is very, very strict on that per se.
Yeah. So Kentucky, in order to even be a part of a wrestling show, like to be staff, you have to be licensed. And you have to go, like, you have to apply through the state, you have to send in a physical, you got to do all this other stuff. Like, Kentucky's real strict about blood.
Mhm.
And yeah, so just some states got it, some states don't. You just got to do what you got to do where you got to do it, I guess. So
I mean, I feel like seeing what these other states been able to do, getting people on board and getting these promotions to do this without any restrictions. I mean, Kentucky could do so much more. They just have to ease up on these restrictions.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah.
I mean, it's whoever's in charge of that commission, y'all tripping, and I'm just a
You
fan.
said it. You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Yeah,
Please,
I mean that's okay. It's okay.
please,
I'm just a
please
fan.
don't, please don't suspend my license. Whoever's in charge, thank you. Please.
Nah, nah, nah. It's me. It's me, Kenny Commons of
Yeah.
Lexington, Kentucky. I'm just a fan, not a wrestler. Look. I just want to see Kentucky thrive as a wrestling state, and we can. So,
So, if I may for a moment,
yeah, sure.
since you were on the subject of Kentucky wrestling and thriving,
Yeah.
um, I'm going to share a little project that's on the horizon that I'm going to be
Okay.
a part of. Starting in March, we are going to be running a promotion called Derby City Wrestling based in Louisville. It's going to be monthly television tapings, and it's under the same umbrella as Championship Wrestling from Hollywood,
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling from Memphis. So it's underneath that United Wrestling Network umbrella. So we'll be starting those on Sunday, March the 26th. So keep an eye out for posters and more info to come about that. That's going to be a good time.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of my friends who's a diehard wrestling fan himself, he brought this to my attention. He was like, "Yo, is this legit or not?" I was like, "Let me look at it. Let me look at the website and everything." And now that I'm getting confirmation from you,
Yeah,
that's it's a done deal, man. Derby City Wrestling is
it's a
happening.
go. It's a go.
March
Um,
26th, Derby City Wrestling is brand new promotion through the United Wrestling Network.
mhm.
So and it's on Sunday. It's right,
Yeah.
and ironically, that's on the same weekend as Lexington Comic Con. So
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, y'all, if y'all going to that Comic Con and you get all the things you need to get done there, it's an hour-long drive from Lexington to Louisville. I'm definitely looking into this, man.
I
So
think there's gonna. I
yeah,
know that I've seen one match announced so far,
okay.
and it's Moose and Pope.
Mm.
So Moose versus Pope is the first match announced for Derby City.
Yeah, I like the Pope, man. I like the
Yeah,
Pope.
yeah,
That's one of my favorites. Dating back to a very lengthy career that he's had, and of course
sure.
Moose being a household name himself.
Yeah,
So Derby City Wrestling is coming to Louisville on the 26th of March. Tickets are on sale right now, I believe. So
they are.
go,
Yep, they
yeah.
are.
So go
Yeah,
get that. Get on
yeah. Let's
board with
pack
that.
this out. Let's make this a success. Put
Yeah.
me on TV, baby. Arr!
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Get the man. Look at the beard,
Look,
man. Look at the beard. Look at the beard right there. So speaking of beards, there was something else I wanted to get into.
yeah. What you got?
Obviously, wrestling industry still mourning the passing of Jay Briscoe,
Yes. Yeah.
who lost his life a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And I've been on Twitter scrolling through everybody's stories, memories. You have a moment with the Briscoes, and I
Hmm.
think I read one of your tweets about it, and they
Yeah.
said, "Man, you look like you could be one of the Briscoes."
Yeah. So I'll never play pretend and act like I was closer to people than I really was. I was not close with the Briscoes. I've only met him a couple of times, and they were both, you know, brief exchanges. But the one time that I did get to hang out with them, we were, or it was when they were doing a few of the dates with Impact within like the last year.
Yeah.
They did a taping here in my hometown, and you know, I showed up, was hanging out and helping out and trying to get my face seen and whatnot. And I introduced myself to the Briscoes. Jay shook my hand and he like kind of stroked his beard and he was like, "Hey man, you look like you could be with us." So that'll always be like you know, my fun little interaction that I got with Jay Briscoe. It was brief, but it's something that I'll always remember because the Briscoes were one of the first, because you know, I grew up watching WCW, WWF. I saw a little bit of ECW, but as far as wrestling went, that was my knowledge of it, right? So when I started training, shortly before I started training, one of my friends that I've been friends with for probably 10, 15 years now, invited me to a Ring of Honor show because he knew I enjoy wrestling, and I had never heard of Ring of Honor, right? So I went to a Ring of Honor show with him, and I remember watching the Briscoes and just that being one of the things that kind of opened my eyes to this whole broader world of pro wrestling that I didn't even know existed. It showed me the very punk rock side of pro wrestling, and that made me fall even more in love with it. So like that night, now I remember seeing Kevin Steen when he was still there. I remember that name from that night, and I remember the Briscoes. Like they just stood out that much that, you know, like I think like I might have bought one of their t-shirts or something too, because like I just thought they were so damn cool and that they were so good at what they did. So like they're one of those, they're a couple of the people who may have had a little bit of an inspiration for me to really get into this, whether, you know, I guess I never really thought about it too much until like I was kind of reflecting on his passing. But looking back at that, I think that's part of what kind of gave me a different appreciation for wrestling and the other side of it that isn't all the beautiful bells and whistles of the WWE and things like that, you know.
Yeah. Like many people, I've watched Ring of Honor late. I started watching it on TV, so I didn't really get to see the Punks, the Danielsons, the Styles, the Joes, like early years.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
watched
yeah,
them
yeah.
the probably the last 5, 6 years
Sure.
before they make their transition into now. I did a wrestling podcast called Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, and I was fortunate to interview guys like Adam Cole, or
Mm-hmm.
Cedric Alexander, or Matt Taven, among others. So Ring of Honor will always be in my good graces,
Sure.
um, just for that. And I'm very happy that they are about to get TV tapings going very
Mm-hmm.
soon.
Yeah.
So definitely
That
hoping for the best.
Yeah, see, and that's like for me personally, that's like a goal that I've kind of set for myself too, is that I want to somehow at some point in time I want to do a match for Ring of Honor because I just think that would be a cool feather in the cap. So
Yeah.
gonna try to make that happen. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'll figure it out.
Hey man,
I'll figure it
it's
out.
attainable. It's definitely
Yeah, it's very
attainable.
attainable. Yeah,
So you know, you fit the mold for Ring of Honor. So
sure,
just, you
sure.
know, and Briscoes, you know, I love them to death. Very stay authentic, staying true to themselves. The
Yeah.
promos that they did with FTR leading up to the matches were comedy. And one guy was
Terry Funk
talking,
ain't wear no mouthpiece.
yeah, and the other one got the peanut butter, just eating. Um, no, just literally peanut butter by itself. Like, man, I love those guys, man. Rest in peace to Jay.
Yeah, man,
Um,
that's one of them things too with, you know, with him losing his life the way that he did, man. It's just a reminder of how precious life is, you know, and how quickly it can go, man. It's sad, bro. Cuz like you see, you know, there was that clip floating around to him, like practicing his daughter's cheerleading routine with her and stuff, like,
Yes.
that's the stuff that we don't see, like, the personal lives of some of these guys, and man, and it's just such a bummer that, he looked like such a good dad. And, as somebody who I lost my dad when I was 9 years old. So, I definitely have like extreme empathy for what those kids are going through right now, losing their father. And it's just heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And shout out to Mark and Jay for that tribute match. And
Brother,
and
so good.
just to see that in person, that's one of the rare times that I wasn't like cheering. I was just emotional. You know?
Man, I like we mentioned a little bit ago, I was there that night,
Yeah,
and I was in the back. And, Jay made his entrance, and then they went like to a commercial break while Jay was, so Jay was chilling there for a second.
yeah.
They had like a little viewing area set up for us. I actually got up and I went in and walked like right there, like to Gorilla, like right behind the entranceway and stuff. So that way, when I wanted to hear the genuine reaction that Mark got. You know what I mean? So like as soon as you heard that, reach for the sky, boy,
Boy.
brother, I had such chills. You know what I mean? And like,
Yes.
yeah, man, that shit was emotional, bro.
Yeah,
Like it was very emotional. But like you said, it was just very cool to be there for that and to be able to watch Mark, pay tribute to his brother. And
yeah.
yeah, it was
Jay
special.
Lethal, main event, and props to Tony Khan
For
because
sure. He fought for that,
he
man. From
fought for
what I
that,
heard,
man.
he had to fight for
Yeah,
that. So
yeah, he did, man. Like tooth and nails, literally. So props to Tony, for making that possible. And now, as of official, Mark is now
yeah,
signed with the company. So
yeah. So
good for him. So
yeah,
we definitely been talking plenty of wrestling here,
yeah.
and so I want to get to as one thing that holds near and dear to your heart outside of wrestling, and
Yeah.
that is you being a diehard Cincinnati Bengals fan,
Die
and
hard, brother.
and you guys had a really good season,
Yes.
considering
Yeah,
that
yeah.
going into the season there was a lot of analysts saying, could this team duplicate what they did last season? Were
Right.
they going back to the Bengals of old? And quite honestly, I had no doubt. I was like, look, that team got a chip on their shoulder. They want to prove people that last season wasn't no fluke or anything per
Right.
se. So
Right.
they went in, and even with one less full game to play, they went on to win the division, and they fought tooth and nails with Kansas City to the end. And me
Yeah.
personally, just being a football fan in general, I'm
Yes.
looking forward to Burrow and Mahomes' rivalry. That looks like
It's gonna be the new Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I think those two are gonna slug it out a lot over the next decade. Like you're
yeah,
gonna see those two in big game scenarios a lot. I think it's gonna be, one of the two of them going to the bowl almost every year.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So
but I agree with you, man. Like there were a lot of analysts who were, saying that, they're gonna have to prove that wasn't a fluke and all this stuff. But then, the first few weeks of the season, they had a couple real tough losses, because of the few games they lost this season, there was only one game that they really got beat like by anything more than like 3 points, and that was to Cleveland with Jacoby Brissett. I'm like, fuck. Of all the like of all the teams to really put an ass whooping on you, it's got to be the Cleveland Browns. But whatever, I'll take it. But again, that's what I said to everybody. Like when they lost the AFC Championship, I've been a Bengals fan since. All right, so I'm gonna show my age here. I was
gotcha.
born in January of 1989, right?
Hmm.
So the Bengals were playing the 49ers in that Super Bowl from the '88 season 2 weeks after I was born. So I have been there's pictures of me on that Super Bowl Sunday wearing a Bengals onesie at 2 weeks old.
Yeah,
So that's been my team forever. I've been there when they've been 2-14. I've been there when they've been 4-12, 5-11. I'll take a loss in the AFC Championship all day over just being one of the scrub teams that nobody ever expects to do anything. So
Yeah,
I'm excited for what the next few years is going to look like. I think you pay Burrow whatever he needs, you pay Jamar Chase whatever he needs, build the team around that duo because
yeah,
those two are dangerous.
yeah. You definitely keep those two intact. Take care of
Yeah,
them. And then there's Higgins, there's Mixon. I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do with those two. Um,
yeah.
I mean, people
Those are the.
people talk about the salary cap. Quite
Mhm.
honestly, I don't think there's any such thing as a salary cap. Cause so the now that the Bengals are like legit,
Mhm.
they I think they're gonna pull it off and keep everybody somehow.
Yeah,
Just somebody may have to take a pay cut here and there, but you give Burrow what he wants, you give Chase what he wants, and then you worry about everybody else. I have one suggestion for the Bengals. Um, get rid of Eli Apple. That's get rid of that man. He's a letdown as a Giant. He's a letdown with my Saints. And now you Bengals fans are seeing how much of a letdown he can be in the
I think
secondary.
I think that Cam Taylor Britt had an excellent rookie year.
Yeah,
I think he between him, Mike Hilton, and we're gonna have a Woozier back from injury.
yeah.
So I think between those three, we could probably get it done without Eli Apple. So I'm kind of with you on that. Like I just don't think he's the shits, but I don't think he's all that either, like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
let let Cam Taylor Britt play on that rookie contract as long as you got him. If you got to pay Eli Apple anything, that's even remotely too much.
look, I like Eli. I'm an Ohio State fan. He had a
Yeah.
good one there. So I root for Buckeyes, wherever they go.
Hmm.
Unless they play against my team, then is a loss. and now Joe Burrow, I wish he could have done what for Ohio State what he did for
For
LSU,
LSU. Yeah.
but with Buckeye Nation, we rooted for him and for LSU, and and he has many known that he still got Buckeye in his heart. So
Hmm.
we happy for him,
Yeah.
and he's doing great things in Cincinnati. So
Yes. Yeah, he is.
at
Yeah.
least he has a chance to win a championship for Ohio team. So if
We
the
need
Saint,
it. We need it, brother. We need it.
so
I That's always the argument that comes up whenever whenever other fan bases want to try to, shit on the Bengals. It's always, well, how many championships do you have? So I want them to at least get one just so it could kind of
yeah,
negate that argument. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah, I feel like the Bengals are on the rise now.
they are for
People
sure.
are feel like yeah they're gonna take over that division for quite a long
I
time.
don't I don't see I don't see how anybody. I think the only other threat in that division right now is Baltimore, and I'm
Yeah,
curious to see what happens with Lamar because
yeah,
they might end up letting him walk because of how he's being with his contract and stuff. I think they're going to tag him this year though, just to be
yeah,
assholes.
yeah. They just gonna have to, man. Like,
Yeah,
and regardless of what people feel about Lamar, like the dude's an MVP.
yeah.
You can't let him. He lost his offensive coordinator,
Mhm.
so we'll see how that turns out. But man, Crew, great having you on the show, man.
Hey
Uh,
man, thank you for asking me to come on, man. I really do
th-
appreciate it. I
this
do.
this was definitely an interview that I've definitely been wanting to do. So I'm glad that this happened. And check him out this Friday,
It's
Paradigm,
Friday.
Jeffersonville, Indiana. And as he pointed out, his match pretty much winner takes all tag team championship match. So go check it out, Paradigm Pro Wrestling, and he also dropped the bombshell. A new promotion is coming. to Kentucky, known as Derby City Wrestling, March 26th. Tickets are on sale right now, and
Right
so
now.
far,
Let's pack that place
um,
out.
Moose and Pope are some of the confirmed wrestlers for the debut show, and that's going to be on TV as well. A
Yes.
weekly show as well.
Yes.
Derby City Wrestling. I'm I go to Louisville once in a while anyway, so I might make the trip there. You
Love to
know,
have you there, my friend.
so I'm definitely look. I'm all for. I just want Kentucky wrestling to thrive. So whatever, whoever could just add more to this Commonwealth, go for it, man. So Derby City, you got my attention for sure.
Cool, man.
Check him out, Lord Crew Kills,
Yep.
Twitter.
Twitter,
And
Instagram, TikTok, Lord Crew Kills. Find me on Facebook, Lord Crew. Um, I got a pro wrestling tees store, prowrestlingtees.com
yeah,
/ Lord Crew. I'm about to be adding the Crew Day t-shirt to my pro wrestling tees in the next couple weeks. So you can go pick one of those up,
yeah,
support me and my love for the Bengals. So
yeah. That might be the only Bengals related shirt that I wear. Even though I'm a Saints fan and my team got some work to do. Look, you got Hendrickson. Oh, he got the. I
I
figure
was
he.
gonna wear it for the interview, but it was too cold in this room, so I had to put a
Yeah.
hoodie on.
Hey, you got that's a good product placement there. So we'll take
Yeah.
that. Great chatting with you, crew.
Yeah, you as well, my friend.
Enjoy your week, and if I don't see you in Jeffersonville, I might see you in Louisville, or I might see you at Indy for Square Circle
I will
Expo.
definitely be a squared
Uh,
circle. So if I don't
yeah,
see you before, I'll see you there.
yeah. We'll cross paths more times down the road, and you take care, man. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, man. You as well. All right. Thanks for having me on.
You have a good night.
Yep. You too, bud. Take care.
All right.